Okay, trends change here. My name's Ian and this is my channel. First of all, I'm going to say that I am not sponsored. I'm completely independent. Oh, and it is absolutely cold as brass monkeys out here, I'll tell you that. So anyway, I know a few people do watch the videos, but if you like the videos, like and subscribe, helps my algorithms and helps things move forwards. As I said in other videos, I am not doing this for any sort of money or anything else. Oh, it really is cold, as it happens. I do this because I really kind of thought, you know what, I want to do something that's going to help people. I've got a lot of experience in life. I've seen a lot of really nasty stuff, and I've seen a lot of really amazing stuff as well. And you know what? Hell, why not? Why not put a little bit of practical experience out there and help people? So one thing I've learned this year, and people say, oh well, you should have learned that anyway, but it's a lot more profound in this lesson. And it comes down to friendship. And people think, oh, you know, well, that's pretty easy. You know who your friends are. You don't, but that's not really the case. You see, the one thing I learned is that you can be friendly with people, and you can be friendly, and you're gonna have a good time with someone, and you know, some good experiences, and then you go home and you get on with life, and that's the end of it. Friendship, and actually friendship is a lot more than just being friendly with someone. It is literally about having a common cause. It's about being there for someone. It's about talking with them. It's about, even if you have difference of opinions, it's about respecting each other's opinion. It's about being able to talk with someone, even if they disagree. They will talk through the opinions. They'll have a talk and say, well, yes, this, or no, that. And, you know, you can go backwards and forwards, and you can end up and still be friends, and, you know, things will go on, and you can, you know, share life experiences with them. Now, the reason why I'm talking about why I learned this is that just recently there have been a few people who I used to say, oh yeah, they are friends of mine. I like to go and see them. I like to, you know, all this kind of stuff. And indeed, I've tried to sort of go through a few things with them, and, you know, kind of talk with them about things and stuff. And when I've actually offered an alternative opinion to them, and this is what happens with so many people, they say, oh, you need to take off your foil hat, or you need to take off this, that, the other. They will use insults. They will degrade you. They won't have any respect for what you have to say. And more often than not, they won't address any of the points that you make. They will just basically insult you and say that you're dumb, stupid, retarded, whatever it might be. I don't really want to use the word. I'm just using the words. I'm not insulting anyone by that or causing anybody a hurt. I'm just using the words that they will use against you to insult you, so it wins an argument. And just recently, I've had that with people who I've known for a very long time. Now, I'm being incredibly patient with them, because I thought, well, I know them, that's who they are. And, you know, I found myself making excuses for their behaviour, when really, actually, it is inexcusable for insulting someone. You know, the only time really insults should be used is when people are being really disgusting and really and even then, you know, there is a way of doing it, and there's a way of actually turning around and saying, you know, well, actually, you know what, you're dumb on that, you know, but that's by the by. To disagree with, to insult someone just because they have a different view with you, especially someone who you are supposed to care for. And, you know, I essentially have blocked these people, because quite frankly, my life needs to have more sort of structured, moving forwards, building myself up, getting done what I want to achieve, and to basically be able to live my life to the fullness that it needs to be. Now, if people are going to constantly kind of chip away at my self-value, chip away at, who I am, and insult my intelligence, whatever it might be, then, I don't have time for that. It doesn't mean to say that I hate them. It means to say, well, you know what, it's a shame, but we can't continue this particular relationship that we have. And it is a shame, but, there are some times where you just got to remove that element out, because, quite honestly, it's not good for your mental health and your emotional health. And, it's something, to be honest with you, looking back, I should have done a very long time ago. But, hey, that's by the by. So, what I will say is when you actually make friends, you should have friends who are going to turn around and say, well, hey, you're wrong, and here's why, and form a coherent set of points on why. And even then afterwards, if you give the points back, well, actually, this is why I believe this, and you can't come to an agreement, then, hey, it means that you just go, you know what, we're not going to agree on this. Hey, that's cool. You're still my friend. I've still got your back. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You're going to move forwards. You're going to support each other. You're going to have the vested interest that they achieve what they want to achieve, while they have a vested interest, vice versa. And it's like they always say, friendship is a two-way street. So I would say, if anybody is acting that way towards you and insulting your intelligence, and you all these things, and kind of having a real sort of negative turn on you, and you're calling them friends, that I would say the chances are is you've really not got a good friendship. You've really actually got quite an abysmal friendship. Sometimes even today you've got to be very select on who you are friends with, and to be honest with you, it is something I've learned a little late in life. I should have learned a while ago, but to be honest, my nature is that I do actually care a lot about people. And I've been through a time where I've been really seriously hurt by a lot of people, and because of that, I don't like to see other people get hurt. So, but sometimes you just have to say, hey, you know what, enough is enough. This is the deal now. And I have to say, ever since I've sort of shed those people, my ability to be able to move forwards and to actually get things done has actually improved a little bit more. If it so be that you have to be by yourself for a while, there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with being by yourself. There is nothing wrong with being able to think through who you are, have a little bit of introspection, take a look at yourself and say, hey, you know what, who am I as a person, and where do I want to be? And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I enjoyed it so much it got to be a bit habit forming. I've slowly come out, and I've been a little bit more careful about who I choose as friends and who I choose to be in my circle. And I think we all need to these days. We all need to be a little bit more careful. It's always good to look at things and go, well, how is this actually going on, or where is it going? What's happening with this? Never ever tolerate disrespect. Never tolerate disrespect. Nobody should have to do that. So, just wanted to do a few thoughts this morning before I go to the gym, and it is still freaking cold out here, so you'll have to excuse me while I'm rubbing my hands together, because it is really cold. It's -1 in this car, and the heat has just kicked on, so luckily it's warming up. But have a great day, value yourself, and as always, if you've got somebody who's going through this sort of thing where they're having a lot of adversity with people who they're calling friends, get them to watch this. get them to value themselves a little bit more. Have a great day.